Okay, so in this video I'll show how to create a new application. It's very easy, very straightforward. So if you go to your command line, just type in the following: new, Rails, new, and the name of the app. Let's call it Micro Blog. -d Postgres SQL. So this will use the Postgres database because you want to create a production ready application, not just the one that works on my local computer. So we want this app to be so that anyone can try it around the world. So if you press enter, so this will install all the files needed to be created on a Ruby on Rails application. And then once all the files have been installed, we can actually have a look at this on our text editor. Text editor we're going to be using today is Atom. It's really easy to use and it's free as well. There's also another text editor called Sublime Text Editor as well, which is very popular. So as you can see, it's installed all the files and folders that we need to run our application. So the last thing we need to do now is just start our server. So we have an inbuilt Ruby on Rails web server. So to make it run, just type in Rails S. But before we do that, we just need to make sure we're in the right directory. So micro blog, and then just type in Rails S. So let's see what this is going to do. This should start the Ruby on Rails web server. So in this case it's called Puma, and it's running Rails 5.1.5, and at the bottom it says it's listening to TCP 3000. So this refers to an actual port, so this means basically that Rails server is now listening on port 3000. We can actually have a look at this by pointing our browser to localhost 3000. So if you go back to Chrome, open up a new tab and just type in local 3000. As you can see, yay, you're on Rails. So excellent, that's working now. So that means the application is set up on our local computer. And we can actually view all the files if we go to our Atom text editor. And as you can see, you've got all the files and folders that are needed. So I'll just quickly go through what these means. The app folder is probably the most important part of this whole application because it contains all your application files, etc., etc. So things like assets, it contains all your front end assets, things like images, logos. You can add JavaScript in here as well, and this is where you add your style sheets as well, so it makes it look nice. We've got controllers as well, the app controllers. So we'll set up controllers later on. So this basically handles requests and responsible for tying together the model and the views. So your models are basically the database logic of your application. The views are it contains all the templates that we displayed to the user, usually written in HTML, embedded with Ruby. So if you see .html.erb, it's embedded with Ruby. Okay, so next we've got the database folder. So basically this directory contains the database files that the application will need. Okay, and most important as well, we've got gem file as well. So this specifies a list of gems that are required to run your application. So basically Ruby gems are self-contained packages of code. So if you want to add a new gem to your application, just type in gem and followed by the gem name. Save the file and run a bundle install to install the gem. All very easy and very straightforward. Okay, so at the moment we don't have any pages. All we've got is our Rails splash page. So let's change that. So let's go back to our terminal window. Let's open up a new terminal window and let's go into the application. Just type in ls to list all the apps that we're using. So micro blog. Okay, so let's type in Rails G controller. So this will give you instructions on how to actually use this controller function. It's very easy and very straightforward. So as you can see, to use its Rails generates controller, the name of the controller followed by an action. So for us it'll be Rails generate controller called pages and home, because we want a home page. If you wanted to have an about page, then we'd use about. If we wanted a help page, we could add a help as well. Let's give us an example. At the bottom of this page, Rails generate controller credit cards, open, debit, credit, and close. All very simple, straightforward. Okay, so let's go Rails G controller pages home. So this will create a page called home. As you can see, it's created a pages controller. It's given us a root called pages/home, and it's given us a view as well called app views pages home. Okay, so let's have a look at what it's actually done on our browser. So it's actually given us a root, so let's go to that root. Pages home. And as you can see, it's given us a basic page. Okay, so obviously we don't want users typing in pages home all the time, so let's change this root. So let's go back to our text editor. We need to go to our config routes page. So this is our root. So we don't want the user to type in pages home all the time, so we can use something called root. So the pages refers to the pages controller, and the home refers to the home action. We don't need that, so let's remove that. Let's save that. Let's try again. Let's refresh our screen. It should give us an error. Okay, excellent, because this root no longer matches. And then if we just delete the pages home, it should give us our first page. Excellent. Okay, so this is the application setup. So we created one page. Let's update the Trello board. So to create the application, I did a number of things. The first one was to do the Rails new, and then the name of that app, -d post, -d postgres, and then we did Rails S to start the server, and then to check that it was working, it was localhost 3000, and then we created a page. So Rails G controller pages home, and then we created a new root, root pages home. Excellent. So that's the setup of our application. We've created one page, and the next video we shall push this up to GitHub. So GitHub basically shows you all the history of your code, and it tracks all your changes as well. Okay.